Hello and welcome to today's session of theCUBE presentation of AWS Startup Showcase, powered by theCUBE. I'm John Furrier, your host of theCUBE. This is a session on breaking through with DevOps, data analytics, cloud management tools with MontyCloud and cloud management migration. I'm your host. Thanks for joining me today. We've got two great guests, Venkat Krishnamachari, who's this co-founder and CEO of MontyCloud, and Shruthi, Sreenivasa, Murthy, solution architect, Research Computing Group, St. Louis University. Thanks for coming on to talk about transforming IT, day one, day two operations. Venkat, great to see you.
Great to see you again, John.
So in this session, I really want to get into this cloud powerhouse theme, which as we were talking about before on our previous CUBE conversations, and what it means for customers, because there is a real market shift happening here, and I want to get your thoughts on what the solution problem is, space that you guys are targeting.
Yeah, John, cloud migration is happening rapidly. Cloud adoption is the current and immediate future of many IT departments. And any type of computing workloads and applications and services these days are better served by cloud adoption. This rapid acceleration is where we are seeing a lot of challenges, and we've been helping customers with our platform so they can go focus on their business. So happy to talk more about this.
Yeah, and Shruthi, if you can just explain your relationship with these guys, because you're a cloud architect, you try to put this together, MontyCloud is your customer. Talk about your solution.
Yeah, I work at the St. Louis University as the solutions architect for the Office of Vice President of Research. We can address St. Louis University as SLU just to keep it easy. SLU is a 200-year-old university with more focus on the research, and our goal at the Research Computing Group is to help researchers by providing the right infrastructure and computing capabilities that help them to advance their research. So here in SLU Research portfolio, it's quite diverse, right? So we do research on vaccines, economics, geospatial intelligence, and many other really interesting areas. And you know, it involves really large data sets. So one of the Research Computing Group's ambitious plan is to move as many high-end computation applications from on-prem to the AWS. And I lead all the cloud initiatives for the St. Louis University.
Yeah, Venkat and I have been talking many times on theCUBE, but in the previous interviews about the rapid agility that's happening with serverless and functions and microservices. You're starting to see massive acceleration of how fast cloud apps are being built. It's put a lot of pressure on companies to hang on and like manage all this, and whether you're a security group who's trying to lock down something, or it's so fast. The cloud development scene is really fun, and you're implementing it at large scale. What's it like? What's it like these days from a development standpoint? You got all this greatness in the cloud. What's the DevOps mindset right now?
SLU is slowly evolving itself as AWS Center of Excellence here in St. Louis. And most of the workflows that we're trying to implement on AWS involves DevOps and CI/CD pipelines. And basically we want it ready and updated for the researchers, where they can use it and not have to wait on any of the resources. So it has a lot of importance.
Research as code, it's like the internet, infrastructure as code, it's DevOps ethos. Venkat, let's get into where this all leads to, because you're seeing a culture shift in companies as they start to realize if they don't move fast, and the blockers that get in the way of the innovation, and you really can't get your arms around this growth. There's an opportunity to operationalize all the new technology. Could you talk about the transformation goals that are going on with your customer base? What's going on in the market? Can you explain and unpack the high level market around what you guys are doing?
Sure thing, John. Let's bring up the slide one, so there's some content there that helps. John, every retail application, commercial application, even internal IT departments, they're all transforming fast. Speed has never been more important in the than where we are today. For example, COVID research, analyzing massive data sets to come up with some recommendations. They all demand a lot from the IT departments so that researchers and developers can move fast. And IT departments are not only moving current workloads to the cloud, they're also ensuring the cloud is being consumed the right way. So researchers can focus on what they do best. What we've been learning and working closely with customers and gathering is that there are 3 steps or 3 major milestones they would like to achieve. I'll start with the outcome, right? The important milestone IT departments are trying to get to is transforming such that they are directly tied to the key business objectives. Everything they do has to be connected to the business objective, which means the time and budget and everything's aligned towards what they want to deliver. IT departments, wherever we talk with, have one common goal. They want to be experts in cloud operations. They want to deliver cloud operations excellence so that researchers and developers can move fast, but they're almost always under they're time poor, right? And there is budget gaps, and there is talent and tooling gap. A lot of that is what's causing their challenges on their path to journey. And we have taken a methodical and deliberate position in helping them get there.
Shruthi, how's your reaction to that? Because, I mean, you want it faster, cheaper, better than before. You don't want to have all the operational management hassles. You mentioned that you guys want to do this turnkey. Is that the use case that you're going after, just research, kind of being researchers having the, access to their fingertips, all these resources? What's the mindset there? What's your expectation?
One of the main expectations is to be able to deliver to the researchers as and when they need, and moving from a traditional on-prem HPC to cloud would definitely help, because we are able to give the right resources to the researchers and able to deliver projects in a timely manner. And, with some additional help from MontyCloud's data platform, we are able to do it even better.
Yeah, I like the onboarding thing. You get in easy and you get value quickly. That's the cloud business model. Let's unpack the platform. Let's go under the hood. Venkat, if you can take us through some of the moving parts under the platform that as you guys have it, that's at the high level. The market's obvious for everyone out there watching: cloud ops, speed, stabilization. But let's go look at the platform. Let's unpack that. Do you mind? Pick up slide 2 and let's go look at what's going on in the platform.
Sure. Right. Let's talk about what comes out of the platform, right? They are directly tied to what the customers would like to have, right? Customers would like to fast track their day one activities. The solution architects such as Shruthi, their role is to try and help get out of the way of their researchers, but be ubiquitous around delivering cloud solutions, right? Our platform acts like a seasoned cloud architect. It's as if you instantly turned on a cloud solution architect that Shruthi can bring online and say, hey, I want help here to go fast track. Our platform has capabilities that helps customers provision, set up governance guardrails, drive consumption in the right way. One of the key things about driving consumption the right way is to ensure that we prevent security, cost, or compliance issues from happening in the first place, which means you're shifting a lot of the operational burden to left, and make sure that when provisioning happens, you have guardrails in place. We help with that. The platform solves the problem without writing code. An important takeaway here, John, is that our platform was built for architects and administrators who want to move fast without having to write a ton of code. And it is also a platform that they can bring online autonomous bots that can solve problems. For example, when it comes to post-provisioning, everybody is in the business of ensuring security because it's a shared model. Everybody has to keep an eye on compliance. That is also a shared responsibility. So is cost optimization. So we thought, wouldn't it be awesome to have architects such as Shruthi turn on a compliance bot in the platform that gives them the peace of mind that somebody else and an autonomous bot is watching out 24/7 and make sure that these day 2 operations don't throw curveballs at them. Right? That's important for agility. So our platform solves that problem with an automation approach. Going forward on an ongoing basis, right? The operational burden is what gets the IT departments. We've seen that happen repeatedly, right? IT departments, you know this, John, maybe you have some thoughts on this, if you have some comments on how IT departments are facing this, maybe that's better to hear from you.
No, well, first I wanted to unpack that platform because I think one of the advantages I see here and that people are talking about in the industry is not only is the technologies colliding between the security postures and rapid cloud development, because DevOps and cloud folks are moving super fast. They want things done at the point of coding and CI/CD pipeline, as well as any kind of changes. They want it fast, not weeks. They don't want to have someone blocking it like a security team. So automation with the compliance is beautiful because now the security teams can provide policies. Those policies can then go right into your platform, and then everyone's got the rules of the road, and then anything that comes up gets managed through the policy. So I think this is a big trend that nobody's talking about because this allows the cloud to go faster. Shruthi, what's your opinion, reaction to that? Do you agree?
No, precisely, right. I'll let Shruthi jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up one of the case studies that we worked with MontyCloud and used their compliance bot. So RedCap, the Research Electronic Data Capture, also known as RedCap, is a web application. It's a HIPAA compliant web application and one of the flagship projects for the research group at SLU. RedCap was running on traditional on-prem infrastructure, so maintaining the servers and updating the application to its latest version was definitely a challenge, and also granting access to the researchers had long lead times because of the rules and security protocols in place. So we wanted to be able to build a secure and reliable environment on the cloud where we could just provision on demand and in turn ease the job of updating the application to its latest version without disturbing the production environment, because this is a really important application. Most of the doctors and researchers at St. Louis University and the School of Medicine and St. Louis University Hospital uses. So given this challenge, we wanted to bring in MontyCloud's cloud ops and security expertise to simplify the provisioning, and that's when we implemented this compliance bot. Once it was implemented, it's pretty easy to understand what is compliant, what is non-compliant with the HIPAA standards, and where it needs remediation efforts, and what we need to do. And again, that can also be automated. It's nice and simple, and you don't need a lot of cloud expertise to go through the compliance bot and come up with your remediation plan.
How fast? What's the change in the outcome in terms of the speed, turnaround time, before and after? So before, you're dealing with obviously provisioning stuff and the lead time, but just a compliance closed loop, just to ask a question, do we have it? There's a lot of manual and also maybe some workflows in there, but not as cool as an instant bot to solve a yes or no decision. And after MontyCloud, what are some of the times, can you share any data there, just order of magnitude?
Yeah, definitely. So the provisioning was never simpler. We're able to provision with just one or two clicks, and then we have a better governance guardrail, like Venkat says. And I think, to give you specific data, the compliance bot does about more than 160 checks, and it's all automated. So when it comes to security, definitely we have been able to save a lot of effort on that. And I can tell you that our researchers are able to be 40% more productive with the infrastructure, and our research computing group is able to kind of save the time and the security measures and the remediation efforts, because we get customized alerts and notifications, and you just need to go in and
So people are happier, right? People are getting along at the office or virtually. No one's yelling at each other on Slack. Hey, where's because that's really the harmony here, Venkat. This is I'm joking aside, this is a real cultural issue between speed of innovation and what could be viewed as a blocker, just the time that, say, security teams or other teams might want to just get back to you, make sure things are compliant. So that could slow things down. That tension is real, and there's some disconnects within companies.
Yeah, John, that's spot on, and that means we have to do a better job, not only solving the traditional problems and make them simple, but for the modern work culture of integrations. It's not uncommon, like you call out for researchers and architects to talk in a Slack channel often to say, hey, I need this resource, or I want to reconfigure this. How do we make that collaboration better? How do we make the platform intelligent so that the platform can take off some of the burden off of people, so that the platform can monitor, react, notify in a Slack channel, or if should the administrator say, hey, next time this happens, automatically go create a ticket for me. Or if it happens next time in this environment, automatically go run a playbook that remediates it. That gives a lot of time back. That puts a little bit of peace of mind into the process, that an operating model that you have inherited and you're trying to deliver excellence at has more help, particularly because it is very dynamic footprint.
Yeah, I think this whole guardrail thing is a really big deal. I think it's like a feature, but it's a super important outcome, because if you can have policies that map into these bots that can check rules really, really fast, then developers will have the freedom to drive as fast as they want and literally go hard and shift left and do the coding and do all their stuff on the hygiene side from the day one on security. It's really, really a big deal. Can we go back to the slide again for the other project? There was another project on that slide. You talked about was it RedCap? Was that one? There wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so RedCap, what's this other project?
So SCARE, the Sinkfield Center for Applied Economic Research at SLU is also known as SCARE. They're pretty data intensive, and they're into some really sophisticated research. The center gets daily dumps of sensitive geodata, sensitive de-identified geodata from various sources, and it's in terabytes. So every day becomes petabytes. So, we don't get the data in workable formats for the researchers to analyze. So the first process is to convert this data into a workable format and keep it analysis ready. And doing this at a large scale has many challenges. So we had to make this data available to a group of users too, and some external collaborators, which adds, more challenges again, because we also have to do this without compromising on the security. So to handle these large size data, we had to deploy compute heavy instances such as R5 12x large, multiple 12x large instances, and optimizing the cost and the resources deployed on the cloud, again, was a huge challenge. So that's when we had to take MontyCloud's help in automating the whole process of ingesting the data into the infrastructure and then converting them into a workable format. This was all automated. And after automating most of the efforts, we were able to bring down the data processing time from 2 weeks or more to 3 days, which really helped the researchers. So MontyCloud's data platform also helped us with automating the the resource optimization process, and that in turn helped bring the costs down. So it's been pretty helpful. That's
impressive. Weeks to days. I mean, this is the theme, Venkat. Speed, 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 hybrid. A lot of stuff happening. I mean, this is the new normal. This is going to make companies more productive if they can get the apps built faster. What do you see as the CEO and founder of the company? You're out there, you're forging new ground with this great product. What do you see as the blockers for customers? Is it cultural? Is it lack of awareness? Why aren't people jumping all over this?
Oh, people are, right? People are jumping all over this. Only they go at it in so many different ways, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, be it a one-person IT team or a massively well-funded IT team, everybody wants to excel at what they deliver in cloud operations. The path to that is what the challenging part, right? What we're seeing is customers are trying to build their own operating model. and they're writing custom code, then there's a lot of need for provisioning, governance, security, compliance, monitoring. So they start integrating point tools. Then suddenly, IT department is now having what they call as a tax, right? They have to maintain a technical debt while cloud itself is moving fast. It's not uncommon for one of the developers or one of the projects to suddenly consume a brand new resource. And as you know, AWS throws up a lot more services every month, right? So suddenly you are now keeping up with that service. So what we've been able to look at this from a point of view of how do we get customers to focus on what they want to do and automate things that we can help them with.
Let me rephrase the question if you don't mind, because I don't want to give the impression that you guys have a great solution. But I think when I see enterprises, they're transforming, right? So it's not so much the cloud innovators like you guys. It's really that, it's like the mainstream enterprise. So I have to ask you, from a customer standpoint, what's some of the cultural things or technical reasons why they're not going faster? Because everyone's, maybe it's the pandemic's forcing projects to be doubled down on, or some are going to be cut. This common theme of making things available faster, cheaper, stronger, more secure is what cloud does. What are some of the enterprise challenges that they have?
Yeah, it's multifold, right? There's some cultural challenges, like Andy Jassy lays out. Sometimes it's leadership, right? You want top-down leadership that takes a deterministic step towards transformation. Then adequately funding the team with the right skills and the tools. A lot of that plays into it. And there's inertia, typically, in an existing process. And when you go to cloud, you can do 10x better. People see that. It doesn't always percolate down to how you get there. So those challenges are compounded, and digital transformation leaders have to make that deliberate bet. They have to be more KPI driven. One of the things we are seeing in companies that do well is that the leadership decides that here are our top business level objectives and KPIs. Now we want the software and the services and the cloud division to support those objectives. When they take that approach, transformation happens, but that is a lot more easier said than done.
Well, you're making it really easy with your solution, and we've done multiple interviews, I got to say. You're really onto something really with this provisioning and the compliance bots. That's really strong. That's only goes stronger from there with the trends with security being built in. Shruthi, I got to ask you, since you're the customer, what's it like working with MontyCloud? It sounds so awesome. You're a customer, you're using it. What's your review? What's your take on them?
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job in helping us automate most of our workflows. And when it comes to keeping a tab on the resources, the utilization of the resources, so we can keep a tab on the cost. In turn, their compliance bot, their cost optimization tab, it's pretty helpful.
Well, you're knocking projects down from 3 weeks to days, looking good. I mean, looking real strong. Venkat, this is the track record you want to see with successful projects. Take a minute to explain what else is going on with MontyCloud, other use cases that you see that are really primed for MontyCloud's platform.
John, a quick minute there, right? Autonomous cloud operations is the goal. It's never done, right? There's always some work that you hands-on do. But if you set a goal such that customers need to have a solution that automates most of the routine operations, then they can focus on the business. So we are going to relentlessly focus on the fact that autonomous operations will help digital transformation happen faster. And we can create a lot more value for customers if they deliver to their KPIs and objectives. So our investments in the platform are going more towards that. Today, we already have a fully automated compliance bot, a security bot, a cost optimization recommendation engine, a provisioning and governance engine. Where we are going is we are enhancing all of this and providing customers a lot more fluidity in how they can use our platform. Click to perform your routine operations. Click to set up rules-based automatic escalation or remediation. Cut down the number of hops a particular process will take, and foster collaboration. All of this is what our platform is going and enhancing more and more. we intend to learn more from our customers and deliver better for them as we move forward.
That's a good business model. Make things easier, reduce the steps it takes to do something, and save money. You're doing all those things with the cloud. Awesome stuff. It's really great to hear your success stories and the work you're doing over there. Great to see researchers getting and doing their job faster, and it's good. And tons of data. You got petabytes of that's coming in. It's pretty impressive. Thanks for sharing your story.
Sounds good. And one quick call out is customers can go to MontyCloud.com today. Within 10 minutes, they connect their account. They get very actionable and valuable recommendations on where they can save cost, where is the security compliance issues they can fix. There's a ton of out-of-the-box reports, one click to find out whether you're having some data that is not encrypted, or if any of your servers are open to the world. A lot of value that customers can get in under 10 minutes. And we believe in that model. Give the value to customers, they know what to do with that, right? So customers can go sign up for a free trial at MontyCloud.com today and get the value.
Congratulations on your success and great innovation. Startup Showcase here with theCUBE coverage of AWS Startup Showcase, Breakthrough in DevOps, Data Analytics and Cloud Management with MontyCloud. I'm John Furrier. Thanks for watching.